Hey class, welcome back to Chapter 2, Percentages, Ratios and Rates. Today we begin looking at working with ratios, exercise 2F. So remember from our previous lesson that ratios are a comparison of two or more similar quantities. Because of that, they do not have units in them, okay, because they are expressed as the same quantity. So we compare meters to meters, not meters to kilometers, for example, okay. To write them in their simplest form, which is the aim of today, is we need to find the highest common factor of each part of the ratio and then divide by each part. We can also work with equivalent ratios, which are very similar to equivalent fractions. We'll jump in with a couple of examples to step through this, and it will make a lot more sense. So we're going to write two different ratios in simplest form, the first being 4 and 16. To do this, we first need to identify the highest common factor of 4 and 16. You might look at this immediately and notice that 4 is the highest common factor, so the largest number that goes into both. That gives us an equivalent ratio of, and we should probably use this means equivalence, okay? 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. One of these numbers is prime, or the number 1, so we know we have the most simple ratio, or the simplest ratio, okay? We'll try another, a little bit trickier this time. There is a lot more going on in this particular ratio. We've got 3 and 3/8 and 2 and 2/6. So we need to first, before we do anything, same as we would if this was just a normal fraction problem, is we would multiply out and make these both improper fractions. So this here would be equivalent to 3 times 8 is 24 plus 3, we get 27 over 8. And put the ratio symbol in the middle, of course. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 2 is 14/6. Okay, we now need to find what would usually be the highest common factor, but because we have two different denominators in our fractions, we want to get the lowest common multiple of those two, okay? So, which kind of takes the place of the HCF, or the highest common factor in this case. The lowest common multiple of 8 and 6 is 24. So 6 times 4 is 24, and 8 times 3, I should be writing that down, sorry, and 14, yep, this one here times 4, okay? And that will give us our denominators to be the same. I know I had to pick the hardest example for this one. 27 times 3, you could use the calculator, or you might be able to do that one in your head. We get 81 out of 24. And 14 times 4, again, you could use your calculator or do it by hand. I would jump to 15 times 4 is 60, and then subtract 4. And now we recognize that both of our denominators are the same, so we can cancel them both out, and that gives us, and we don't have to simplify this either, by the way, it's already simplified because we chose the lowest common multiple. 81 to 56 is our most simple ratio for this one. I know it is a tricky example, okay, but with fractions, convert them to improper fractions first, find the lowest common multiple to make those denominators the same and make them equivalent. Okay, so this here should be equal to that, this here should be equal to that, and then cancel out those denominators because that would be the same as multiplying both sides by 24. All right, let's make it a lot easier now. We're going to fill in the blanks to make each ratio statement equivalent. So we need to look at what's going on, what factor has been multiplied. So 4 times what equals 8, and we know that it's multiplication because it's gotten bigger. 4 is in the same position as 8. When we multiply 4 by 2, we get 8. So we're going to do the same thing to get this answer in here. Whatever 3 times 2 is, gives us our blank. And of course, we get 6. So 3 to 4 is equivalent to 6 to 8. What that means is if I was baking a cake and I needed 3 eggs and 4 cups of flour, that's a ridiculous cake, but anyway, to make twice the batch, I would have 6 eggs in there and 8 cups of flour, okay? Please don't make a cake with those ratios. It will be very dry and will not stick together. All right, this time we're going to look at the first two numbers. Again, we're going from the number 5, which is much smaller than 30, to a larger number. We need to multiply 5 times 6 will give us 30. So going in the other direction, I'm not going to be able to squeeze this in, okay, but we want to also multiply this by 6. 2 times 6 is 12. So our equivalent ratio is 30 to 12. Of course, neither of these are simplified. The ones originally given are our simplified ratios. Last one. Again, we're going to look at the first two, except this time we're going from the number 48 to the number 8, which is much, much smaller. So we're dividing. 48 divided by what is 8? 48 divided by 6 is 8, okay? So we're going to do the same thing going the other way. 6 divided by 6 is 1, okay? And that's really all there is to this exercise, guys. As always, good luck with the work. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. Bye.